This is Leila Torres of origamispirit.com. We are going to be making this cube called Mondrian Cube. To learn this cube, we need 3 sets of squares. Each set should be different color. Only one side of the paper will be shown in the final cube, so we can use paper of the same color on both sides. Office paper is perfect to make this cube. These squares were cut from office paper. The size of this square is about 4 by 4 inches or 10 by 10 centimeters. To make it look like this, we will need the same amount of squares, but we need different colors on each set. Later on, I will give tips to make it look like this. For the moment, I will demonstrate only with 3 colors to facilitate the explanation. We are going to fold each set in a slightly different manner. We are going to take 1 square from each set. We are going to take any square and make a mark at the center. We are going to bring this lower edge to a point beyond that central mark, just a little bit. We can choose any short distance. We make the whole crease. Now we are going to take a different colored paper, make the central mark. We are going to take this lower edge and bring it beyond this central mark and also beyond the previous one. The papers should be aligned at the top. And we are going to take the third one, mark the center, and we are going to bring this edge beyond that center and beyond the point of the previous one. So this distance is different on each one of these squares. We are going to use this as a template to fold the others of the same color in the same manner. We begin with the pink. We place the next piece of paper on top. The upper edges should match. Hold it in place and bring this edge to match this edge. And we repeat with these two. Always use the same as template. We take the second set of colors and we match each square to the first one we folded. Match the upper edges, bring the lower edge to match this. And we repeat the process, but the flaps here will be of a different width. And we repeat with the next set of squares. Now we are going to rotate. We are going to bring the lower edge to meet this edge. And we are going to repeat with the other squares. Rotate and match the lower edges to the internal edge. We have the 3 sets of squares folded to this point. Notice that this width is the same for the three of them. Each unit has two flaps, one wide and one narrow. Notice how this flap is narrower than this, and this flap is narrower than this. From now on, we will fold all of them in the same manner. We are going to rotate the units so that the narrow flap is on the left. I will continue my demonstration with this piece. Whatever I do here will have to be repeated with all the rest of the units. We are going to open the wide flap and we are going to bring the upper edge here to align with the vertical crease. And we create a fold about here. We open all the way. We have a valley fold here. We are going to reverse this valley fold into a mountain and this mountain fold into a valley. Just this section to the intersection. So we press from behind and flatten. At this corner we have a pocket. We are going to come back to that pocket later. For the moment, we are going to open. Now we close the right flap and we are going to bring this edge to align with the vertical crease and we make a fold about here. Open all the way. We are going to fold along this diagonal crease from underneath. We reverse this horizontal and we have another diagonal here that we reverse and flatten. Now we open again, press from here and reform this fold. I had mentioned this pocket. Now we are going to press from this corner here and tuck this corner into that pocket. Then we flatten. Now we are going to make a fold connecting this point to this point. It is a mountain fold. And we make sure that here this coincide. This is the unit. We are going to finish the rest of them in the same way. So here are all the units. To assemble the cube, we are going to be guiding ourselves by the color of each set and also by the shape. I'm going to take one of each. This will become an edge of the cube. Each one of these flaps has a different width. As we assemble the cube, the difference in width will be a guideline too. Underneath this flap will be used as a pocket. We have here another corner pocket which won't be used. So we are going to take another unit and take the white flap and insert it underneath. And we are going to create a vertex. We place the white flap under the narrow flap. And here, the white flap under the narrow flap. 3 units go together to form a vertex. Now we are going to finish one face. 4 units go together to make one face. As we go around, all the papers that go in this direction will be pink. All the papers going in this direction will be blue, and all the papers going in this direction will be yellow. So we need to find a pink one for that place. So we are going to insert this here. Notice that it will be inserted underneath this, but over this little triangle. Now we are going to insert a blue one coming in this direction. And it will be over this triangle and underneath here into that pocket. And then this edge will be inserted into that pocket. So one face is woven together. Notice that we use 4 units, but in this case only 2 colors. So we are going to continue making the faces in this manner. Blue, so we're going to have a blue here, but it will be inserted under the yellow. We are going to bring this wide flap under the narrow flap. We are using pink paper in this direction, so we are going to bring that to insert there. Under this and over the small triangle. Notice the pattern inside. Each face, when it is finished inside, has 2 sets of colors. Each one of the finished faces shows 4 triangles. This flap came undone, so we insert it again. 3 faces are finished. This white flap goes underneath a narrow flap. As we go along, one flap might come undone, so we need to just go back and insert it again. So we are going to finish this side and then with the last 4 flaps. We can leave them open a little bit. So we have this pink to go right there. Underneath this, in front of this triangle, and through this. I hold it against the table. I open it a little bit. Catch this flap, close, and insert. Now we take a deep breath to finish the last phase. We can open the flaps a little bit to visualize what's coming. We can put together the wider flaps first. This comes under a narrow flap underneath here. And the last one will have to weave through here. And this blue flap will fit right underneath here. Hold your cube. Now we check all the faces of the cube. Each face will have to have the 4 different rectangles. The process of folding this and assembling it is exactly the same as this. It will be a little bit more challenging because we are having 5 colors and in here we only have 3. Here I show an example of 3 groups of 4 squares each, displaying 5 different colors. The secret to assemble this array is not to focus on matching the sets of colors. The guide should be to pay attention to the widths of the flaps, which should always match. Making this Mondrian Cube might be challenging, perhaps a little frustrating, But if you are patient and persist, you will have much success. If you like modular origami, check out other figures in our Modular Origami playlist.